Tavistock Place cycle track is part of the main east-west artery through the heart of London. The route is hugely popular, but it's confusing for pedestrians and it's dangerous at junctions with side roads. Since it was built in 2002, cycling in London has doubled and the two-way track is heavily overcrowded. It needs updating to carry thousands of cyclists and make crossing safer for pedestrians.
I was cycling at 6 p.m. on a weekday towards the end of June when I hit a cyclist in front of me who was taking action to avoid a cyclist in front of him who had stopped suddenly without warning. We both went flying, although riding very slowly. I fell on my ribs, cracking one, and was bruised and badly cut.
We estimate that at peak times up to 1,000 cyclists ride these tracks every hour. Wider tracks are urgently needed to increase the capacity, avoid the risks of serial collision, and reduce long lines of stopped cyclists waiting at traffic lights. Cyclists passing two ways need more space to avoid handlebars touching on bends and when they enter the route at junctions. Pedestrians are confused by four streams of traffic moving in opposite directions on two separate carriageways, one for the cars and one for the cyclists. See the frightened pedestrian running across the road. He's not in a hurry because he walks before and after crossing. Taking refuge on the traffic lights island, he runs the risk of being clipped by wing mirrors of cars on one side and by cycle handlebars in the cramped bike track on the other. Some pedestrians seem to assume the cycle track is one way, probably because most of them in London are one way. Where Tavistock Place narrows, pavements are constricted, making walking unpleasant for people crossing the area on foot. Both motor and cycle traffic are controlled by light signals at the major junctions. The cycle track has priority across side roads, but there are serious safety issues at Gordon Square, where vehicles turn across the cycle track in both directions. The worst problem is caused by many motor vehicles turning right from Tavistock Place across the cycle track. Most drivers do look, but some tend to bully cyclists into giving way. Sometimes motorists fail to see cyclists on what they perceive as the wrong side of the road. Drivers aren't used to giving way to cyclists, disregard the road signs, and they often block the eastbound cycle track at Gordon Square. We've shown that this highly popular route has become overcrowded and unsafe for rush hour cyclists and pedestrians. Inevitably, collisions are recorded, mostly minor, but some involving serious injuries. At the Gordon Square junctions, safety is threatened by motorists who don't expect to see cyclists crossing in both directions. What's the solution? A victim of its own success, the scheme is overdue for new traffic plans to meet the needs of today's cyclists and pedestrians. Cyclists using the crowded route show they prefer to ride separately from motor traffic. Now they need a bigger share of the road. Pedestrians need wider pavements and simpler, less confusing crossings to walk safely.